It is the Matt Mosley Show and Rogue Media Network. And great to be with you today. The Z-Man's with me today. Zach Burke, good friend for a long time now. And Zach's working on just a couple things, and he'll hopefully be joining me before too long here as we come to you today on this Tuesday. And major breaking news. In fact, this would be the time for our breaking news sounder. But it came down just about an hour ago, 45 minutes ago, an hour ago. This has something to do. It feels like sometimes when a team's getting ready to play Baylor, I do not think this is particularly great news for Baylor, because especially based on what happened last time. But Mike Gundy has been fired at Oklahoma State. And, I mean, just an amazing career there. I was just looking at some of the numbers, like 170 and 90, I think, over the years. Had an incredible season in 2011 where they beat Stanford in the bowl game and ended up number 3 in the country, I believe, that season. Maybe one of the greatest seasons, if not the greatest, in Oklahoma State history. And then, quite honestly, somebody might be able to go back to whatever years, but I would argue that Mike Gundy is the greatest coach in the history of Oklahoma State. Jimmy Johnson went on to the greatest things, but he didn't stay there long enough to have the kind of tenure that Gundy had. These things rarely end perfectly. They rarely end smoothly. There will be a time when folks can give Gundy his appropriate flowers. Today's not that day because this is just a flat-out firing. This is a program that bottomed out. There he is. There's the beautiful mullet. An embarrassing 52-0 loss to Colorado last year, 69-3 at Oregon, and then for losing at home to Tulsa for the first time since like 1950 or 1951. So this thing had gotten bad. They needed to make a change. They put out a statement that basically says thank you to Gundy, and but there's no way to do this. There's no proper way. Now, what we don't know is if they maybe tried to say, hey, you're done after the season. We'd like to let you coach out the season. I don't exactly know how it went down. It is a buyout of $15 million. And so it's not Jimbo. It's not nothing. And, they'll have to cough it up. And so he'll go away. Extremely wealthy man like he always was. He'll have some TV opportunities. He could be a consultant. Anybody would bring him in, I think, as an offensive coordinator. And, at a smaller level, maybe even somebody would consider him for head coach. Scotty yesterday, Z-Man, was saying, like if Baylor had to make a coach change, Gundy would be. I don't think so. I think the way this has ended, it just doesn't seem to me that for a Power 4 team, he would be that attractive of a candidate. Certainly as an offensive coordinator, would be extremely attractive. Assistant head coach, a young coach needing kind of an elder statesman. I could see him fitting into some really good roles in college football if he still wants to go. But for now, his tenure at Oklahoma State comes to an end. You put this now with Virginia Tech opening, UCLA opening, Oklahoma State. What's the Virginia Tech? It's more, and I know you have Virginia in the state, but you do have a little bit more of that only game in town feel. I don't know why UCLA is such a horrible job. I mean, you are in Los Angeles. I'm not going to believe that they don't have enough NIL money or donors or people that would step up. I have a really hard time thinking it's that bad of a job. Oklahoma State, because of what Gundy's built, the money the alumni have poured into it, T. Boone Pickens, the money and then the legacy that is his family and whoever's handling his estate. I assume it's his family now that runs all that. I mean, I don't think Oklahoma State's a bad job at all. In fact, of the openings right now, I think it probably comes to the head of the class. All right. And I don't know sitting head coaches right now. It's hard to say, who you would go with. I mean, like that offensive coordinator right now at Oklahoma, the young Ben Arbuckle's looking like a young Mike Gundy. I mean, he is looking pretty incredible. And, Venables is not going anywhere right now. So he's not going to get that job. He's very, very young. He's not the most seasoned guy in the world. He's only like 28 or 29 years old, but he is a hot young coaching name. I think the more, the more reasonable names would be Sumrall from Tulane. Would this be a step up from Tulane? Of course it would. Of course it would. The coach that went to Liberty from Coastal Carolina, Jamie is his first name. That would be somebody you would definitely think of. You need somebody that has the excitement of. I honestly think it would be hard for a place like Oklahoma State to hire a defensive head coach when you've had the DNA that they've had for all these years and the what they're known for. I think this is a place where you need to think about bringing in an offensive-minded head coach. Now, Baylor's going in there. Baylor's got a game there, 2:30 ESPN2 Saturday. We've seen what this looks like. 2021, TCU fires Gary Patterson, legendary coach. I mean, it's extremely similar situation. Jerry Kill, the good friend of Gary's, took over for TCU that year, and TCU with at the time really good young quarterback, talented quarterback, stepped in there and had a great game. And TCU beat Baylor on that day, I think 31-28, somewhere around there. And so it's when you have tons of emotion, when you have all that going on, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Now, Tulsa, the writer, the beat writer, Oklahoma State beat writer for the Tulsa World, Eric Bailey, I've been in touch with in the aftermath of this, and he wants to come on with us. Of course, he's trying to get to a lot of these guys. He'll live in Tulsa, so he's got to get to Stillwater to see what's going on there, see what kind of news conference they might have, all of that. So he's en route to Stillwater, and he's looking to possibly join us at about 2:30 today if we can kind of make that happen. So, and the Z-Man is efforting, I don't like that word really, I think it's a made-up word, to jump on with us right now. The good news is
I finally made it.
Z's
Yeah.
kidding me. Hey, man, how you doing?
I think I might need to fix myself in the break because I feel really small. But yeah, no, I'm here.
And you know what? I have a tendency to make people feel small, but not to you, Z. Never to you. So it's good to have you. I mean, this is the Z-Man. This is a dark day in the Big 12 history. It's a dark day. I mean, I tell you what I'll do with you in a minute. I'll get to this Baylor tie-in. I was just talking about that, but this is tough because I think it's going one of two ways. They either play for Gundy and they have some kind of inspired performance, or they just completely flatline and continue to be awful, and the Bears go in there and get a big victory. But I would say it's not good. I mean, Dave Aranda has empathy and is going to feel for Mike Gundy and all of that no matter what, and feels horrible for him. But this is not good for anybody thinking, oh, it's good, Baylor. They go in there, they can just crush them now. This was not going to be easy even before this, and now
it's the TCU game.
Really interesting. Yeah, unfortunately, we do have precedent on this. Yeah, and you're right. The TCU game was Baylor had an incredible season going in. They started the quarterback. Boy, and of course, the next year they went with the other quarterback and the redhead and
Max
Duggan. Yeah, and he was awesome. On that day, they brought in the son of the guy who used to be the SMU coach. What was Chad's name? Who went to Arkansas? They brought in Chandler Morris, and he put it on the Bears. I don't know who's going to serve as interim. Z, I haven't seen that yet. I keep looking to see who's coaching that team. I got OSU people in my mentions like, who's coaching us? Who's coaching us Sunday? And
as of 43 minutes ago, I still haven't seen anything. Athlon had candidates for it, but I haven't seen them announce anything yet. So,
okay, here we go. Offensive coordinator Doug Meacham has been named interim head coach. Of course, he's been at TCU. He was at TCU for a long time too, under Gary Patterson. So he's
coming back.
He was, I think, on that sideline when TCU rallied to beat the Bears after they fired Gary Patterson. I mean, listen, this is a 170-90 from 2005 to 2025. I mean, he had almost as long a reign as Patterson did. I think Patterson did 22 years at TCU.
Well, that's what I was thinking, and I'm glad you brought this up because I have a question for you, just kind of in the magnitude of this in a way of a coach staying in a place for so long. Because Gundy was not trying to date any of us here, but Gundy took over at Oklahoma State when I was still in high school. I'm almost 40 years old, but that is a good, long legacy at a place. I think that the days, I remember obviously growing up, you had more guys like that were at places 15, 20, 25 years, and it's going more and more where it's not a commonplace. So I had to take just a step back in general of to think of, wow, Gundy's been there that long. And you talk about Gary Patterson too, a guy who was at TCU for that long, and that's just something we don't see, but even those guys eventually aren't immune to, and that Tulsa loss that was not pretty.
No, you're right, and there aren't a lot more like the Bowden. Obviously, Paterno's career ended in infamy, but he was there forever. I mean, we're talking like 45, 50 years or something insane like that. Bowden was there forever. Grant Teaff had a great long career at Baylor, 1972 through the 92 season, I think it was. And so, I mean, 20-year run, similar to what Gundy had. Grant Teaff had a tremendous run at Baylor. In fact, Gundy was on either Taft's staff or one of those staffs, like one of his first.
It was 96. So
okay, it was after Taft.
Is that Reedy or is that
Well, Reedy took over 93, 94.
Okay, so it's later.
Probably had a 90, let me think about this. 95 at Baylor, went to a bowl game. Went to the Alamo Bowl because I was there. 96 season, Reedy would have still, and that might have been the first.
It's the Big 12. It's the first year in the Big 12. It's Reedy's last year, I think.
Okay. Gundy was on that staff for Baylor as like the quarterback's coach or something. And, man, that would have been those would be some good offensive minds. Obviously, Baylor ran him off and brought in Dave Roberts on the suggestion of Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz said, you got to hire Dave Roberts. That was a disaster. Kevin Still was a disaster. Guy Morris, I liked. I'm not going to call him a disaster because he was such a good man. And not that Still wasn't, but Still was just a really good defensive coordinator who was a horrible head coach. I mean, I think, unfortunately, we're trying to still find out from Dave Aranda. I think he's better than Kevin Still as a head coach, but that's not saying much. But Kevin Still, for many, many years, was one of the better defensive minds in the country. And to this day, I think I think Aranda is one of the best defensive minds in the country, but it has to translate. Yesterday, Z, I don't know if you got to see the Mosley show. If you didn't, fake it, just say you did. But man, we had a lot of good stuff on this issues they're having with their home, winning at home. That's not been good under Aranda since 2022. I mean, what's weird about the precipitous and just sudden demise of one Mike Gundy is that, okay, so 2021, playing Baylor for the title. If they win that game against Baylor, they're going to the playoff. They're going to the college football playoff that year. That's 2021. Rough 2022 for the Pokes. 2023, they're back. They're playing well. And in fact, they played in the Big 12 title game, I believe, against UT. Last year, just flatlined. Horrible. I mean, we have to, do I think he would have flatlined if it weren't for, NIL and portal and all that stuff? No, I do not. I think under the old way of doing things, Gundy was an innovative, strong enough recruiter, had such a good system that he would have been able to stay afloat until he actually wanted to retire. But I think certain coaches, Dabo being one of them, certainly Gundy. I mean, Aranda was poorly cut out for the NIL portal era. I mean, poorly. Now, he's tried to turn it around with some success. With the help of administration, he's trying to turn it around. We'll see how this season plays out. I don't think anybody looks at Dave Aranda and goes, Dave Aranda's going to have a Gundy-like stay at Baylor. That's just, it's way too early still. Although he's been here a while now. You go back to 2020, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 6 seasons. He's in his 6th season. So, we shall see, Z-Man, but tough day. Doug Meacham, who coaches against Baylor on Saturday. Let me tell you a little bit about him. I could keep growing my hair out. I could never get it to be quite as cool as Doug Meacham hair. He's kind of a surfer type. Likes to get that curly hair going. Likes to grow it out long in the back. Tremendous offensive mind. A funny fit over the years for Gary because he liked the spread concepts. He had Sonny Cumbie under him. Then Sonny Cumbie became the offense coordinator there. Sonny Cumbie now at La Tech and is kind of struggling. But Meacham was a guy who went to Kansas. Gary kind of ran him off, and then he came back to TCU because Gary did not like life without Doug Meacham. All these coaches these longtime coaches love safety blankets, and Meacham has been that way for to a certain extent with Mike. But I mean, here's where I feel really bad for Gundy. I mean, he's rich, he's wealthy, he's gonna be fine. All that's fine. I hate that he didn't get to go down swinging, and what I mean by that is not that they were going to have a good season, but they started the season with a young quarterback from Aledo named Hoss Haney, Hejny. I've known that family a long time, so I should be upfront about that. I'm very biased when it comes to that family, Hoss Haney. But the kid won a couple of state titles at Aledo. I would say, let me think if there's anybody else out there above. I would say I feel pretty good about telling you, Z-Man, that Hoss Haney is the fastest quarterback in the country. Foot speed, he was like an unbelievable sprinter in high school, was on their 4x4, their 4x1, and he is an exciting young player. He looked great week 1, but in that game, he breaks his foot, and they have to go to this Flores kid, and again, it's not all on him. Obviously, they have not surrounded him with enough talent. But I hate that Gundy didn't get to perform and try to sink or swim with this talented young quarterback. Because the Haney kid, he's a kid Baylor wanted at one point. TCU got him. Sean Bell offered him. He offered him too late. And so the kid ends up at Oklahoma State. Making really, they gave him tremendous NIL money. And nothing crazy. Nothing like, I'm not talking about $3 or $4 million or something like that. But gave him good, solid NIL money from what I can tell. And the kid gets hurt immediately. Sadly, early in his career, even at TCU, he has been injury prone. Man, this is gonna be interesting. And I'm gonna oh man. Okay, the press conference at Oklahoma State is at 3:30. I tell you what, the guest we're gonna have, Z, we have to do some of this on the fly, is saying they're gonna be in a car. Can we do a phone call if we need to?
Yeah, I can make it work.
Okay, all right. The Z-Man, you just throw anything up against him, and we.
I'm making sure, but yeah, no, I should be able to. I have it wired up to where we should be able to make that work.
I'm gonna say you want to do 2 or 2:30.
Okay, we can do.
If we do 2,
we can
go.
Campus
we could even get out of Campus Confidential early. Okay, yeah. I just appreciate his willingness because this is a huge story breaking. He's en route to Stillwater from Tulsa. I don't even know how far that is. Could be an hour. Could be 30 minutes. I don't really know, but that's nice of him because I hope he doesn't compare notes with the columnist in the same paper because I also ask Z-Man Barry Trammell, the famous columnist from the Oklahoman, to jump on. But we.
I'm lucky enough to have talked with Barry a couple times.
Okay. Oh, really? You're fortunate, huh?
Hey, I'm a mover. I used to be a mover and a shaker back in the day. I say that I wasn't neither moving nor shaking, but still, it sounds good.
You still are. I mean, when you're on the Mosley show, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Okay, and even though right now you just look like a tiny little man.
I know. I keep meaning to.
I mean, maybe you could bring the chair up just a little bit.
Well, it's not the chair; it's the camera where I have it zoomed in because it's right there, and I just have to zoom in on me a bit more. But here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch to you. I'm still here, and I'm going to go fix it.
All right, the Z-Man is off because what we don't want to do is do like a Campus Confidential with the Z-Man, in a reduced role, just looking like a tiny man in his office. Now, I'm happy to have back. I got the laptop back from Rogue. Oh, there you are.
I think we're almost there.
You've come up. I don't know. I guess it's almost Halloween. You've got like a skeleton behind you. I don't know what you're into. Kind of a Dungeons and Dragons theme or something. But he's got skeletons behind him. I fixed some things. I hope people have noticed. I got my 360 camera back. I got my 4K. I'm happy about that. And thank you, Central National Bank. Thank you, Ascension Providence. Thank you, Cherry Johnson, Sigmund, and James. Unbelievable law firm. And then Schmaltz's Sandwiches. We give away 2 free Schmaltz's Sandwiches every time I do the he's coming up in the world. There he is. There we go. Man.
I think that's
so. See, if you come up with a good piece of trivia, I may come up with some Oklahoma State trivia or something. But okay. Yes. Okay. Great. 2:00 is when we're going to do that. So we may today, since we've got so many moving parts, we'll go hard at 1:30. We'll do a big 2:00 interview, and then we'll just see where we go from there because we got lots going. Scotty is on assignment. I mean, we'll just call it that. I got no clue what Scotty's up to. But Scotty, who's normally my producer, but the Z-Man and I work a lot together. Z was upset because we have this really cool high school thing we do, and Z does not like a night off. He does not like. This was a huge Class 6A Metroplex thing that we do together, and I gave Z the night off last night. And Z, I sent the note that we weren't doing it to the head coach of Lake Highlands Wildcats, and he sent me one of those things back and just said disliked. And I thought, ooh, okay. Not even like, okay, thanks, or talk to you next week. It was just that message you can send back from an iPhone, disliked. It's like, whoa, all right. If we're gonna be like that, yeah.
He just misses talking to you. That's what it is.
So. Now, in the 2:00 hour, if we have time, Z, let's play a little bit of that. What did I send you? Oh, some Jerry. Do we have some of that Jerry Jones? Okay.
Yes.
Because Jerry has sounded off on the return of Micah. Now, since we last talked, let me tell you who's all hurt for the Cowboys. You got Cooper Beebe, the center. You've got CeeDee Lamb out for who knows how long, 2 to 4 weeks perhaps. You've got Tyler Booker starting right guard out. This is not good. Now, who do you have coming in? As they scheme it up. Z, they're going to scheme it up. Find a pass rush somehow, some way. Okay? Tell you how you can have a pass rush. Don't trade the greatest pass rusher in the league. People say, oh, man, what about Myles Garrett? Well, he's great too. But, they're both great. But they traded him. They don't have a pass rush now. Jerry has some of the lamest answers I've ever heard. And, oh, by the way, Mike is coming to town. We got Sunday night. We got Sunday night football. And it could end up being an enormous embarrassment for the Cowboys. Zach, don't root for it. I know you're a Rangers fan, but you're not a Cowboys fan.
I'm not.
Root for utter embarrassment. That's going to hurt the Doomsday Podcast, one of the most popular podcasts in all of sports.
It's very true, but I will bring up a point that was made by your esteemed co-host, Mr. Ed Warder, in this last episode, is bringing up the fact that this is a Green Bay team, though, that just came off a loss to Cleveland that was embarrassed themselves. So everything off of this, of the Micah deal aside, is this is a Green Bay team that is coming to play regardless. I think I saw that the players had talks of how good they were going to be, and the coach was ready to dispel that as soon as possible. So I think that this is a team, especially getting kind of embarrassed by Cleveland, that's coming in on top of somebody like Micah Parsons, who's going to be looking to get after Dak as much as humanly possible, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's all fair. I think that's good. And boy, Ed, I mean, he'll love that you're quoting him, okay? He'll love that more than anything. Eric Bailey, the Oklahoma State beat writer for the Tulsa World, is who's going to be on with us at 2:00, and he'll jump in with us. In fact, I'm going to send you right now, Z-Man, just his Twitter page. There's a photo on there. There may be other photos out there. He's a neat guy. Eric's just the nicest guy in the world. And a huge breaking news. I've been in these situations as a writer where all this stuff happens and you're trying to get to a news conference and then you have all these folks, producers and radio people trying to call to see if you'll come on. And I think it's very, and again, he's done stuff with me for years, but very cool that he immediately got back and said, yeah, I'd love to do it. And so we're going to try to pull that off at 2:00 today. And that'll be Eric Bailey from the Tulsa World. He covers Oklahoma State and he'll have some thoughts on this whole thing, including, who they might hire. Let's see. Top contenders. I love this that we just immediately, okay, 5 candidates for the job. Now this one makes sense. Okay. I'm going to run these by you. Some of these are from ESPN. Some of these are just from the mind of Mosley. What's on Mosley's mind? That's part of the Green and Gold Game Day show. We do that every week. UTSA coach Jeff Traylor. Unbelievable high school coach. He's had a really good run there at UTSA. Recruits Texas well with a bigger budget. To me, he's the most like, I'm not saying as like an offensive mind really, but from a personality standpoint, he's kind of like an Art Briles type. Big time had a huge run at Gilmer, high school background. Like that's who he is. And let's not get into any Art's controversial stuff, but yeah. Just
can I ask just a brief, maybe it's a dumb question, and maybe we'll get to it here, but are we done with the days, because it seems once like a head coach is gone, that anybody on that staff is probably not going to be, because I can't remember the last time that a head coach was gone at the end of the season, even who the intern was. They were like, you know what? Hey, unless something just wildly happens, like I can't see Doug Meacham being a choice here, can you?
No, but it did happen fairly recently because they fired with about 3 or 4 games left the Boise State coach, and the interim rallied them, and they actually like went to the Mountain West title game, and they ended up retaining that guy. It does happen. Auburn thought about it because they put who was the great running back for them that took over one year and did a nice job as an interim. Maybe it was I think Cadillac Williams. Might have been Cadillac.
Yeah.
And they didn't end up choosing him. They brought in Freeze, but it was people were like, hey man, Cadillac's doing a good job. Texas A&M offensive coordinator Colin Klein. I mean, he's doing a good job there. But I first of all, I don't know if I were him. He is good. And he's known as an incredible leader. He was a great quarterback at Kansas State. He was on that staff, and he's doing a very nice job with that A&M offense. Okay, so I understand why you would think that. UNT's having a great season with Eric Morris. All right? Do you have ties to UNT? Z?
I actually do, funny enough.
I thought you
I have a brother who is a UNT alum. So.
Okay.
I mean, it's just something like that. But yeah, we went and saw them play Southern Miss a couple years ago. I hate to say it, but I think I've seen more attendance there for the high school playoff games, but it was a fun experience.
They're packing that place out now. Apogee Stadium, or whatever they call it.
It was when Seth Luttrell still the head coach there? No, I think he's gone. I don't remember where he's at now. But
no,
anyway,
that's why I'm bringing up Eric Morris.
There you go.
He's the current head coach as a candidate. All right. Scotty, are you listening, Scotty? I need you to get back in there. No, you're doing great. Now, this is the one I already mentioned. Maybe when you were trying to adjust your seat or something. Oklahoma offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle. Very, very young. A little bit green for this. But, whoa. He's the one who, man, he coached Cam Ward when he was at Washington State. He coached John Mateer, who's now at OU with him. That's an interesting name. Now, here's 3 players that you need to keep if you're the new coach. Rodney Fields Jr., the running back. Hoss Haney, who I already mentioned. Outside linebacker Wendell Gregory. Redshirt freshman. He had 3 sacks in a season-opening win against UT Martin. But when you're this bad, I don't know if you can really, start singling out players to keep. Okay, this program's in a bad place. And oh, by the way, the Bears are coming to town. It's not getting any better because we got some angry Bears. I'm going to choose to believe the Bears are not going. Dave Aranda should know how to guard against the wounded tiger theory, which is about what he has to face. I got to get new headset. These headphones are awful. They hurt my ears. I'm going to get some. What looks cool on camera? What do you have? Just normal?
I just have regular. Well, I had. And
what about Beats? What if I get some Beats or something?
I don't know if they're cool anymore. At one point in time, I have some of the in-ear monitors that I usually use as just headphones.
Yeah.
But they hurt my ear after a while too, so I would say go with what's comfortable.
Horrific. And when ESPN Central Texas, when I parted ways with them, which is different. By the way, did you see? Because I actually did leave, and good on them. They tried to keep me. I mean, but I was ready to leave. But what they put on the goodbye to Mike Gundy from Oklahoma State, and they put a little story that they wrote. It said, the headline was Oklahoma State Gundy part ways. It's like, okay, that's a nice way. That's a nice way. Yeah. They fired him. If you're gonna do it, go ahead and report it. Go ahead and report it accurately. It's not just part ways. What I bet happened is they said, hey Mike, we'll try to let you coach out the season, but we're gonna be moving on. And kind of like Gary Patterson did, he probably said, no, I'm out. Yeah. I'm not, I'm either your coach moving forward or I'm not, but we're not going to do the ceremonial type stuff. And that is weird and awkward to keep a guy for 7 or 8 more games when you already have announced you're going to fire him. That's dumb. Yep. It would have been done. And I understood why Patterson didn't want to play that game. It was a little bit later in the season than this, but boy, I tell you what, Z, they fire these coaches sooner than ever. I mean, they just love them and leave them. And 20 years, we appreciate you, Mike. And I had him on over the years quite a bit. How about this? We get Gundy on. And Gundy becomes kind of our college football analyst for the rest of the season.
Ooh.
Mosley,
I mean, that is a guy that I would listen to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mosley and Gundy together again. Men with lots of hair. All right. It is time for Campus Confidential. That's next.
Oh, it will be after this.